Hey guys, it's me again. Sorry I've been gone. I've been sick. Yeah, I went to see The Long Walk a while ago. Fantastic movie, by the way. But that exact night I watched it, I started feeling just so violently ill. And while I still am a little bit sick, I think I'm well enough to finally get up and record more reviews for you guys. And today I am going to do something a little bit different, as I'm going to do what I'm going to call dual reviews, which is where I'll be reviewing 2 movies or more in one video. See, I wanted to dabble into this idea for a while now. And I also have somewhere to be tomorrow, so I'm going to try going night-night as early as possible today. So yeah, honestly, it's the best time to try and introduce this idea. But I will start with the one I watched first, which was the good one, which was One Battle After Another. This was a movie I was super excited for, as the trailers were nothing short of great, if you ask me. And then the reviews came out and everyone was calling it the best movie of the decade. And well, I won't go that far personally because Sinners literally came out this year, guys. This is still an absolutely fucking brilliant movie. Full disclaimer though, outside of this and Buggy Nights, I haven't seen any other PTA movie. So at the moment, I'm not fully immersed in the world of PTA, so I can't really do kind of a ranking like many other people can do. But from what I've seen, this guy makes fantastic movies. I mean, I think one of the main reasons this movie worked as well as it did is that the script is just so tight, and how the movie unfolded was absolutely incredible. The title doesn't lie at all. It really is just one battle after another, as despite being close to 3 hours long, I didn't really feel the runtime at all, man. And that's because the movie just didn't really skip a beat at all. Everything serves a story and themes in some way or another. And when the movie just gets going, it's that constant momentum that just never lets down. Also, speaking of the themes, this is an extremely relevant movie, to say the least. In fact, it's almost unfortunate how relevant it is considering when they decided to release this. And no, I'm not going to talk about that. It feels like this is as scarily relevant as it will ever be, and it all works because the movie has something of value to say or bring to the table. This is not a case of PTA just throwing themes at the wall and seeing which ones do or don't stick. No, this is a case of PTA carefully crafting so many different themes and ideas and building a super engaging and thrilling story around them, as well as characters that also tie into them, and knockout performances that manage to elevate these characters to insane levels, as well as a pretty good sense of humor. I'll be honest, it took me a little bit to get used to the humor of this movie. It's just a very specific brand of humor that I think some people are going to hate, some people are going to love. But the more the movie went on, the more I was actually starting to find the humor really, really funny, and the jokes started to land a lot more. I will say I can understand why someone could walk out not liking this movie at all, due to all the things I just stated, you know, all these themes and ideas that are in the movie. Some people don't go to movies for that kind of thing. So yes, even if One Battle After Another tackles all these touchy themes and subjects and ideas in a very kind of, I'd say, humorous way, I can still understand why someone would walk out of this saying, no, I don't like movies that are that politically charged. And I also don't really know how audience friendly of a movie this one truly is. Wait, let me check something. Oh damn, never mind. The filmmaking on display in this movie, it goes without saying, it's absolutely incredible, especially when it comes to the visuals, because holy shit, the visuals here are great, especially in the action sequences where there are so many dynamic movements of the camera. It really cranks up the action to 11. And much like the movie itself, it feels like the camera is almost always moving, which is something I really appreciate, as it means the movie never feels as if it's losing steam or stopping dead in its tracks. However, with all those positives being said, if I had to really be negative about this movie for a second, I'd say that it did take me a small while for me to get fully invested into it. Like, I was enjoying it from the start. I was never disliking what I was watching, but I think about 30 minutes in is where I managed to fully get myself hooked and engaged into these stories and characters and themes and ideas, and just all the situations that started unfolding. Also, this isn't a negative at all, but I feel as if this is a movie I need to rewatch as soon as possible, because I know for a fact there are probably some things that I missed first time around or didn't pick up on, and it'll be really interesting to rewatch it and see what those things are. Again, that's not a negative at all though, it's just a thought I had after the movie. But anyway, yeah, One Battle After Another, I loved it. I rated it a 9 out of 10. Go out and see it. You probably won't regret it at all. But you shouldn't see the movie I'm about to talk about, that being Strangers Chapter 2, because this goddamn fucking movie. Now, before I start this review, I should just state that I like none of these fucking movies. I hate the first one so incredibly much. It's absolutely terrible in so many different ways. Way too short for its own good, with super uninvesting and just moronic characters. No style or flavour to speak of at all, and just an overall horrible movie. Prey at Night is close to being moderately okay, I guess. It has a style to it, it has a flavour, and it at least looks really nice, and has like one one really cool scene, but overall it's not a very good movie. But it's not terrible. I would rather watch Pray at Night over any of the other Strangers movies. And The Strangers Chapter 1 was just awful. I will say I still hate the original just a little bit more than The Strangers Chapter 1. But honestly, it's like saying would you rather step in dog shit or human shit? Like, I would rather just kill myself. I didn't think it could get worse from there, but it did. Oh my god, did it get worse. And the fact there's going to be a third movie absolutely terrifies me. Now, before I just absolutely tear this movie to shreds, is there anything I actually liked about it? There is nothing. I mean, literally nothing I liked about this shit show at all. I knew this movie was gonna be a shit show because it couldn't even do the opening logos correctly. Arguably one of the worst movies I've seen in my entire life. I'm dead serious. It is by far the worst Strangers movie so far. I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't think that was a sentence that would come out of my mouth. Not only is the production on display here just shockingly terrible, you know, things like the way it's shot and the way it's lit and just the way it looks are just awful. I didn't go in expecting great or even that good of visuals, but it just blew me away with how bad this thing actually looked. I just thought the sound design was shockingly bad. Sound design isn't something I usually focus on when I'm talking about movies. I only really focus on it when a movie has really bad sound design or really good sound design, and this one had some incredibly terrible sound design. Look, this could have just been a problem with the cinema I was watching it at. It could have just been a problem with the speakers being bad that specific day. And if it was a problem with the cinema, then hey, I've never noticed that there before, so I highly doubt it. And the level of incompetence on display with this movie, it wouldn't shock me if it wasn't a problem with the cinema at all. The editing was also just so incredibly awful. It was mainly noticeable during the chase scenes. There were just too many frequent cuts in this movie. It's like that one scene in Bohemian Rhapsody. Speaking of chase scenes, that's all this movie really is. The entire thing is just one really long, really drawn out chase scene, which would not be an issue if I cared about the character getting chased, but I don't. I don't care about her. I don't care if she lives or dies. I don't care where her story goes. And there's even a scene in this movie, and spoiler alert, I guess, if you really care, but there's a scene where she's being chased by like a CGI ball for about 5 whole minutes. And yes, I'm not making this up, and it just further adds to the level of bizarreness, is that a word, to this movie. It truly is just an insanely confusing and again bizarre watch, which is weird because it's kind of like a double-edged sword because so little happens in this movie, but for what does happen and for what does unfold, I was just mind blown with how confusing and stupid it all was. You know, things like giving these characters lore, characters which do not require it at all, and takes away from any potential scare factor of these people just being fucking insane for no reason. You know, I don't like that original Strangers, but there's a line in that movie that's something along the lines of, oh, we did this just because you were home.
Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
Like, I hate that movie, but at least that's a good idea. Just these people that are just fucking insane. Like, hey, shall we just break it to someone's house? Like, yeah, let's fucking do it. You know, fact we're given about 10 to 15 minutes in this movie to give them lore. It's just absolutely bananas. And you know, if not for the fact that I didn't care at all about these characters or situations, then it would have been okay enough, I guess. But I don't care. I don't give a fuck about anything. I just want to go home. Spoiler alert as well, I guess, but the identities of one of the strangers was revealed, and I was just like, who? Because that's how little care I had about this movie, or just these movies in general. I just really wanted it to be over, man. I couldn't take any more of this awful fucking movie at that point. There's just such a paper-thin narrative to the entire thing, and by the time it ends on a to-be-continued cliffhanger, you just genuinely wonder what the point of this entire thing was. In fact, what's the point of this entire trilogy going to be at this point? And the teaser for Chapter 3 was shown as a mid-credit scene, and yeah, it looks just as awful as this one. It could honestly even top this one somehow, if that's even possible. If I have to give credit to either of these movies, you know, they have a vision. The vision is absolute dog shit, but hey, it's a vision nonetheless, and at least Madeline Pesh is hot as well. 1 out of 10, do not watch this movie. Go watch one battle after another. That's it for me today.